Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do something a little different. How to know from the first date if someone is the one for you or not. There will be two parts of this video. The first part will be 15 ways to tell, and then part 2, which you will have to stay tuned, will be another 15. So the first way to tell is your chemistry could be off. So yes, of course, you could have a couple dates with someone and you can feel those butterflies and you can feel everything is going good and ooh, I like this person. Or sometimes you could just have these friendly feelings and not develop anything more for them. So what do? You trust your gut. If within that hour you don't feel any kind of tug, any kind of pull towards them, then they may not be the one for you. Number 2. If you already see a characteristic you don't like. This may be judgy, but we all want what we want, right? Not to basically sit there and wait for them to do something that you don't like, but if you see them exuding a characteristic that you know you've had bad experiences with, like overly mature, or too handsy, like too touchy-feely, then don't ignore the warning signs. You've had those experiences to learn from them for a reason. Don't forget your lessons. Number 3, they don't make you feel like you're interesting. So you're speaking on something that interests you, you're talking to them about something that you want to do, and their eyes just don't light up and they just don't look interested in what you're saying. And they're not encouraging you to keep on talking. They're not asking you questions about what you're saying to learn more about you. If they make you feel like your hobbies are lame and you feel hesitant to share personal pieces of you, then move on. You'll feel like you'll need to water yourself down and kind of be fake around them. Move on. Number 4 basically goes off of number 3. Basically, if you share a hobby like, oh, I love to do makeup, or I really like sports, and they're like, oh, that's cute, or they kind of belittle you in some way, then more than likely they're just not that special person. You don't want to feel slightly embarrassed or chastised to share some personal information about you or even your interests. Like, if somebody is interested in you, why wouldn't they want to know what you like to do for fun, right? Number 5 is a big, important one, is if they remind you of your ex. Now, your ex is your ex for a reason. If that person sitting across from you reminds you just a little bit of that person who hurt and disappointed you, don't give it a second try. Those are probably warning signs. And with those, you already know how it's gonna go because you've been there. Don't repeat. Another way to tell they're not for you is that they don't ask you questions about you. So if they're monopolizing the conversation and the moment you interject, not to interrupt, but the moment you interject and just say something about you and they interrupt and just continue with their conversation, that may be a sign that they're just not interested in other people. If they're listing their own accomplishments and only wanting to brag or just talk about themselves, then they're not. What are they learning about you? How can they judge? How can they tell if you guys click, if they don't even care to know anything about you? Are they interested in even moving forward if they don't want to ask questions about you? There's no way that they can tell. So this can foreshadow how a relationship might look. Number 7, they make your favorite stories fall flat. So this happens to me. When I get really, really excited about something, either something that happened today or something I witnessed or ran into or whatever, I get excited and I want to share it. So if I'm just going on and I'm so excited and you look at them and they're not excited at all or interested in what you have to say, and you're so excited but your audience looks like they can care less, those same words lose their sparkle and fall flat. And then your story doesn't come out as excited as you thought it would and you hoped for. It's kind of like, oh yeah, guess what happened to me today? Okay, you don't care. All right, moving on. So if that happens to you while you're sharing your favorite moments or experiences, then that just means that isn't your match. Meet someone who will enjoy memories like you. Okay, so this next one is they make you feel like you need to pretend. And what I mean by that is they make you feel like you need to make yourself sound higher in maybe a job position than what you really are, so that you sound more impressive. Do you feel like you're pretending to be someone that you're not? Do you feel like you don't want to share certain things because you're afraid they won't ask you out on a second date? Now with this, I'm kind of half and half on it, because I think now in today's society, majority of us anyway try to impress on the first dates, right? Not necessarily lie. Most people, I mean, some people do lie, but to try to make yourself seem bigger than what you are, it's like the impressing kind of stage. I don't like to be like that, because eventually you're gonna find out the truth about me anyway, so why not just be real in the very beginning? That way there's no surprise, and what you get is what you get, and I can only get better from there. So I like to start off my dates and my relationships being me, being the best me that I can, and yeah. But basically, if you find yourself, if you feel like they're the ones that are making you feel like you need to water yourself down, then they're not the one for you. Number 9, they make you feel guilty for something. Do they keep mentioning how weird your eyeliner is, or keep looking down at your cleavage, making you wish you didn't wear such a low-cut shirt? If they make you feel guilty for living the life that you want to live, then check please. You just might not be their type, which is just fine, but they shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable over it. Okay, one thing that I need to admit that I like to do on dates is people watch. And not to talk rudely about people, but just an innocent time just watching people walk by and just making these stories up. I don't like to talk rudely about people. But number 10 is they talk rudely about other people. Is it the first date and they're already talking about how much they hate their ex, or how this one coworker pisses them off? It's okay to vent, but if it seems like they're talking about people to make them feel like they're above everyone else, then this might not be the person you would want to align yourself with. They can very easily talk the same about you. Okay. Number 11, they're mean to the waiter. How they act with the waiter is a good glimpse of how they interact with others, with strangers. Are they nice or dismissive? Do they snap at them or bring them into the conversation? Do they think they're better than them for some reason? Don't ignore these little cues, because they're all hints about their personality. And we ain't gonna have that. Number 12, they share their judgments with you. So for example, they'll tell you what they think that you should do, or try to tell you you should do this instead. And it's not necessarily a positive and encouraging thing, like something basically saying you need to change your life for them. Instead of changing yourself to fit their check marks, just don't request a second date. They're looking for someone else that you're not. You're not their fit, and you're not about to mold yourself to become it. Number 13, they mention something about your appearance. Now it's always good to be like, oh, I really like your hair, or you have beautiful eyes, or whatever the case may be. But then there's also a negative kind of mention. Like they actually mention the things that they don't like about you. I don't like your hair, or they think that your outfit is a little weird. I mean, in most cases, most people won't even be straightforward like that on the first date, I think. I mean, I haven't come across someone who's going to be straightforward and tell them something they don't like about you. But there are people out there, and the decision to voice often comes with this need to put someone down, to put someone in their place. They're a stranger and have absolutely no say in how you're supposed to look. The fact that they think that they hold some sway means it's best to avoid them. Number 14, this one is a big one. Basically, if they're too handsy when you don't want them to be. Whether it's an arm around your shoulder or trying to kiss you when you told them not to, any bullying into touches is an immediate red flag. You don't owe hugs, handholds, or kisses to anyone, and if they think you do, then they're absolutely not worth your time. And last but not least for this video is he's unreasonably clingy. or she, but we're talking about the fellas. It's nice to make plans for your second date if you're loving your first, but if they're already talking about New Year's plans or coming to meet family when you don't even know their last name, warning sign. Sometimes people click and fall in love really fast, but sometimes they're making up for loneliness or someone they're trying to get over, and you don't want to be that rebound. Don't feel like you have to go super fast if you're not feeling it. Alright guys, that's it for part 1 of how to tell if they're the one for you on the first date. I think that's the title. I don't know what I'm going to title it yet. Stay tuned for part 2 where I go over numbers 16 to 30 because there's more and you don't want to miss it. So until next time, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It does show me that you care. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos. And until next time, I will see you in my next video. Have a good one, guys.